Hi guys. During today's staff meeting, we're going to go over the teacher evaluation orientation. As you know, New London's vision is to be united in excellence. The teacher evaluation plan helps us reach this vision by providing feedback on instruction in your classroom. The learning outcomes to today's staff meeting include understanding the components of the teacher evaluation plan, understanding how the teacher evaluation plan fits into the district improvement plan and Winthrop's own school improvement plan, developing a shared understanding of what effective practices look like in the classroom by using the evaluation rubric, and developing an awareness of the timelines associated with the evaluation. This is important work as research shows that there is nothing more impactful on student learning than the teachers and the leaders in this building. Luckily, we have great ones here. This illustrates for you the four components that This illustrates the four components that comprise the teacher evaluation. Your final summative rating is developed from two things: the student outcome rating, which includes your student growth and development. This is what we worked on when we developed SLOs, and the whole school measure, so how we do toward meeting our school improvement goals. The other half is the teacher practice rating. The teacher practice rating includes the observations that you have, whether it's with me, Mike, or Sean, and the parent feedback component. It's important to know that this portion, which is 40%, includes both the observations and your rating on professionalism. It's important that you understand these components so you'll know where your score is derived from. The student growth and development, as you know, accounts for 45% of your score. This comes from your SLO. We developed these together during data teams, and then of course we talked about them in your meetings with your evaluator. We made sure that these SLOs were aligned with our school improvement plan, which of course is aligned to the district improvement plan. You guys did a great job submitting them. Make sure that any of your revisions are in so that we can go ahead and finalize those SLOs. As you see, these all work together. The district strategic plan informed our school improvement plan, which then informed the SLOs, or student learning objectives, and this will all impact the classroom instruction that happens here at Winthrop. The student learning objective steps include gathering baseline data, setting your SLO, which we did, creating IAGDs around the SLO to measure your progress. Now, as we move forward, we'll use data team time to monitor and adjust our instruction to ensure that we hit these targets. And then finally, of course, we'll assess our students' progress, hoping that they meet our high achievement goals. The whole school learning indicator counts for 5% of your rating. This comes from whether or not our school meets targets set in our school improvement plan. This may be around DIBELS, MAP, other assessments such as this. There's also a parent feedback rating. This comes from your parent feedback goal that you worked on. You worked on creating a parent feedback goal together with me and data teams, and it was based on our school improvement plan and the district's improvement plan around attendance and parent communication. So we've done a really nice job of aligning all of these things, and it's all included in your goal setting form. The observations include 40% of your evaluation. That's from your in-class observations and professionalism. There is a slight change to what we are used to here. Non-tenured teachers still have 2 informal observations which are scored and 3 formal observations which are scored. Tenured teachers, and now also non-tenured teachers in year 3 and 4 who have gotten a 3 or 4 in the past years, have 2 walkthrough observations which include written feedback but not necessarily scores, and 1 formal scored observation. You can see this is outlined here for how many walkthroughs you have and how many formals you have, and then one review of practice or professionalism. You can see the dates here that we're meeting, and you can tell by the November 15th deadline whether it is for a formal or an informal that we will be around soon to see you, as the November 15th deadline is quickly approaching. There are 10 different things that you will be rated on when you are observed. We will rate everything that we can see while we're there, although we might not always see the 10 components, which include lesson development, initiation, closure, positive learning environment, appropriate standards for behavior, student engagement, routines and transitions, appropriate questioning strategies, appropriate lesson content, and assessment. Now, as you know, some of our certified staff members are on an SESS plan, so theirs looks slightly different. This includes mostly support staff and special program teachers. As you can see here, the 10 standards have indicators underneath of them that are scored on a 4-point rubric, with 1 being below standard, 2 developing, 3 proficient, and 4 exemplary. You can see the difference between each of the score points so that you can work on improving your practice toward a 3 and then a 4. It's important to see that these scores work together, in each of them getting a score to provide your score for that overall standard. I do want to point out the importance of having a really strong and measurable lesson objective. The lesson objective impacts all of the indicators you see here below. What that means is if you don't have a strong objective or you haven't met that standard around the objective, it's very difficult to get a 3 or a 4 on these listed, which can have a big impact on your score from that particular observation. Objectives are important because we have found that it increases student motivation and work completion if they know what they're working on, and it also increases students' awareness of the content expectations, and lastly, it does have a positive impact on student achievement. So, as you can see, here's the illustration again about how all of these pieces work together to get to your final summative rating. Having all these together is a reminder that you don't need to stress so much about picking your SLO and going for high achievement goals or one observation out of the many that you have. There's many components working together to get to that final summative rating. Then, at the end of the year, all those scores are put together to calculate your overall score. So you get an overall practice rating and an overall outcomes rating. If you get a 3 in outcomes and a 3 in practice, you would be a 3. Even if you get a 2 and a 3, you're still a 3. Or a 2 here, but a 3 or a 4 here. That's also a 3. So you could get a 2 on one side and a 3 on the other and still be a 3. I'm just pointing that out to hopefully lighten the stress that you guys sometimes feel when you see an evaluator in your classroom or you're working toward meeting those IAGDs. There's room for you to make the 3, even if you kind of go for the gold on those. Lastly, here's an illustration of the timeline. We have had our goal setting meetings, which has been great. Thank you all for making time for that. We're going to go ahead and finalize those once you submit any changes that you've had. We'll have the mid-year conferences in the February area. You guys will do a self-assessment toward the end of the year. And of course, our end of the year conferences happen typically in June. If you're tenured, you can expect the walkthrough before November 15th and then an additional walkthrough and a formal before February 15th. And then non-tenured folks in year 1 and 2 have their formal, informal, and another formal, informal, and another formal. We are using the My Learning Plan evaluation platform. Woohoo, hallelujah. We use these to enter our SLOs and our parent goals. You should have uploaded your baseline data so that we can take a look at it. You can also use this platform to read and respond to your evaluations. This is where you can complete a self-evaluation and, of course, where you'll finally be able to review your summative rating. In conclusion, there's lots more details in the actual plan. You're welcome to read through and let me know if you have any questions. Of course, you can also see me, Mike, or Sean if you have any questions. And then, of course, looking in my learning plan to explore the rubric. Thanks for your time today.